the man who initiated the Australian hunt for missing aircraft Malaysian Airline flight MH370 says the search operation is no longer necessary in solving the mystery. In an exclusive interview with 60 Minutes reporter Tara Brown, Martin Dolan, former head of the Australian Transport Safety Bureau, says the likelihood of finding the ill-fated airplane is very low and the wreckage is no longer needed to understand the aircraft's final hours. "I'm not sure, given the likely cost of extending the search for this aircraft, how much hope it is reasonable to hold out," Mr. Dolan said. "The data we have already means that we can form a view, broadly speaking, about what happened to reduce the likelihood of recurrence. That could be done now." Martin Dolan says it's not necessary to keep searching for the plane. Picture, 60 Minutes. In a special 60 Minutes event, an expert panel of the world's best aviation minds was assembled to forensically reconstruct MH370's final minutes and answer the question, what really happened to the ill-fated airline? "I think this was deliberate ditching, and it was done over an extended period of time," Mr. Dolan said. Mr. Dolan's belief that MH370 was deliberately and methodically abandoned was shared by veteran air crash investigator Larry Vance, global air safety specialist John Cox, world-renowned oceanographer Professor Trita Patiarachi and senior Boeing 777 pilot and instructor, Simon Hardy. Professor Trita Patiarachi. Picture, 60 Minutes. Tara Brown in the Situation Room. Picture, 60 Minutes. With human intervention being the most likely explanation for the disappearance of the MH370, the expert panel agreed that the most likely perpetrator is Captain Zahari MH370. The experts also made an eerie revelation about Captain Zahari's route and how it reinforces their theory of a deliberate ditching. Boeing 777 pilot Simon Hardy reconstructed Captain Zahari's flight plan from the military radar and revealed the MH370 pilot successfully avoided detection by either Malaysian or Thai military radar by flying along the border, crossing in and out of each country's airspace. "If you were commissioning me to do this operation and try and make a 777 disappear, I would do exactly the same thing," Mr. Hardy said. "As far as I'm concerned, it's very accurate flying and it did the job because we know as a fact that the military did not come and intercept the aircraft." Did Captain Zahari MH370 deliberately fly MH370 into the ocean? Picture, 60 Minutes. Mr. Hardy then revealed Captain Zahari's strange U-turn at Penang was indeed a sentimental farewell to his home. "Somebody was looking out the window," said Hardy. "It might be a long emotional goodbye or a short emotional goodbye to his hometown." Adding weight to the rogue pilot scenario was an eerie flight simulation found on Captain Zahari's home computer, charting a course that ended in the southern Indian Ocean. Mr. Hardy revealed a stunning truth in Captain Zahari's flight simulation. He didn't plot an endpoint, leaving himself nowhere to land but the surface of the ocean. "It's either a series of massive coincidences, which are getting more and more and on top of each other," Mr. Hardy said, "or it's an intentional act of someone who is doing something very clever." In a major twist, the experts, who were originally divided over the aircraft's final hours, came to a consensus that MH370 did not death dive out of control into a crash landing. Mr. Hardy argued that if MH370 had indeed spiraled out of control in a death dive, more debris would have been discovered. This was backed up by veteran air crash investigator Larry Vance, who told 60 Minutes the discovery of the flaperon from the right wing of the plane proved it was a controlled landing. "If this was a high-speed dive, this piece would not exist, Mr. Vance said. If you assume that it went into the ocean under control at landing speed, then the idea of it fracturing into tens of thousands of pieces goes down dramatically, John Cox agreed. I think it's probably also possible that the aeroplane is in multiple large pieces. The Australian Transport Safety Bureau was insistent MH370 fell from the sky in a steep, seemingly uncontrolled death dive. This scenario has dictated the 4-year, $200 million search operation. For Mr. Dolan, and the ATSB's long-held focus on an unpiloted, uncontrolled dive, this revelation has huge implications. If we don't end up finding the aircraft in the search area, then the conclusion is that we focused on the wrong set of priorities, Mr. Dolan said. The search for MH370 has not ended. Currently, a ship called the Seabed Constructor continues the hunt in the depths of the southern Indian Ocean using similar technology to that used to locate the Titanic. However, as Mr. Brown reported, the search will end, probably next month, and with it perhaps the last chance of ever finding the missing plane and its passengers. Despite Mr. Dolan's opinion that a search is no longer necessary, the families of those still missing hold hope that one day we finally their final resting place. To watch MH370, The Situation Room, and for more on 60 Minutes, head to 9 Now. https://www.9now.com.au/60minutes. Copyright 9 Digital Proprietary Limited 2018.